Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a blast, but because the 2023 season is starting up soon, we have ourselves the final episode today of 1 year later. We're going to revive this series once more next year when we have the 2023 guys experience a Draft Plus 1 season, but welcome to the final episode in this series and this season, wherein we talk about prospects taken in the 2022 draft 1 year after they were taken. This guy in the final episode is a player who needs absolutely no introduction. We've made videos about him from the moment he was selected, saying this was an amazing pick by the Montreal Canadiens at the end of the second round. And as he proceeded throughout his Draft Plus 1 year, he just could not stop scoring. And as a result, he cemented himself as one of the best D+1 years amongst defensemen we have ever seen. Period. So, today we're talking about the Montreal Canadiens once more, and ending off season 4 of 1 year later? Yeah, that's what it is, I'm pretty sure. Ending off season 4 of 1 year later with Lane Hutson. Now, a few days ago, we did just make a video talking about Hutson and the BU Terriers, how it's going to be awesome to see 2024 prospects Macklin Celebrini as well as Cole Yzerman on the team, but we did say that there was another season for Lane Hutson to experience in this program, which is fine. It's totally okay, because when you talk about Lane Hutson and you acknowledge where he had come from, this is a player who was taken in the second round of the 2022 draft, 62nd overall. He's 19 years old, 5'10", 161 as a left-handed defender, which is actually pretty alright considering that he was 5'9" on the day of the draft, I'm pretty sure, so he has grown an inch. Not saying that an inch is the most important thing in the world, but just on paper, 5'10" does look a little bit better than 5'9". And even in the scouting report here on Elite Prospects 2022 Draft Guide, it says here that he was 5'8" when they did this analysis. So he has been growing slightly over the years, but when Lane Hutson was initially draft eligible, he was a player that had so many scouts enamored with his small stature, but his absolutely incredible play. Hutson was a guy with the US NTDP who could create offense on a dime. He was like Quinn Hughes light, if you wanted to say. And it was so impressive with the NTDP that he actually posted up the best defenseman scoring season that program had ever seen. The only guy to produce more points than Lane Hutson in one U18 NTDP year was Cam York. But you gotta remember, Cam York's NTDP team featured the likes of Jack Hughes, Cole Caulfield, Zegras, Turcotte, Boldy. These guys were fantastic. It was the best NTDP team ever. Lane Hutson did not have that team to work with, and he still outproduced Cam York when it comes to points per game. You could see here that Lane literally had the best season the program had ever seen, but the fact that he was 5'8", 5'9" is kind of why he didn't go much earlier in the draft. We had seen all the retconned analysis done by people on Sportsnet and TSN saying things like, oh, if Hutson was just 6 feet tall and he still produced as well as he did, he would have been a top 3 pick. He would have been a first rounder guaranteed. In fact, some scouting outlets still had him as a first-round talent. Take a look at the reports over here. You did have Future Considerations and Button have Hutson at number 31. Some of the other outlets, though, had him at 40, 47, so the fact that he did go in the 62nd overall spot feels a little bit like height bias, but hey, I'm not an NHL scout, right? Either way, Lane Hutson had 63 points in 60 NTDP games and 8 points in 6 games at the U18s, cementing himself as a very productive offensive defenseman. The scouting report on Elite Prospects reads this: the way that the 5'8" blue liner evades opponents with weight shifts, handling moves, and fakes allow him to turn every puck touch into a grade A scoring chance, whether he's the one pulling the trigger or as a setup man. He's a fantastic skater with second-gear acceleration, possessing great vision of the ice, and is reliable for a good first pass out of the zone, EP Rinkside said in 2021. Lane Hutson, all things considered, was just an absolute stud with the NTDP, and I made the video right away saying, hey, this could be one of the best pickups in the draft for Montreal at number 62 if Lane Hutson is able to expand on that skill set. And guess what? It's been 1 year in the NCAA with the BU Terriers, and as the season has gone on, we've been making update videos constantly about Hutson and his development. Because wrapping up everything in his Draft Plus 1 season, the now 5'10 defender posted up 48 points in 39 games played, 15 goals, and 33 assists. How crazy is that a first-year defenseman went out there and outproduced Luke Hughes? In fact, they had the same amount of points in the same amount of games, but Lane Hutson had more goals. So there you go. Lane Hutson was the top NCAA defenseman in points this previous season, and if you go over to all-time NCAA scoring, there's only really one guy in the past few years of NCAA play who has matched what Hutson has done, and that was Brian Leetch. Lane Hutson had a better 18-year-old defenseman season in the NCAA than Adam Fox, than Luke Hughes, than Zach Werenski, Justin Falk, Jack Johnson, Quinn Hughes, Jacob Trouba, a whole bunch of guys that have been successful at the National Hockey League. Lane Hutson is literally only matched by one of the best defensemen in NHL history in Brian Leetch. So there really is a resume here that you can't even begin to comprehend in terms of how good it actually is. And Lane Hutson did this all as a second-round pick. So there's a very big reason as to why everybody is talking about this player in the ways that they are. I mean, Canadiens fans are hyping this guy up. They're salivating at the idea of Hutson running a power play for Montreal in the future. Not even going to say that the guy is going to be the next Brian Leetch, for example, but just having this type of a talent in your prospect pipeline. You'd rather want to have it than not have it, because if Lane Hutson's elusiveness, his spinning, his edges in the offensive zone, how he's able to deceive opposition, open up space, create passing lanes in front, and shooting lanes, if this all translates to the next level, then there's really no telling what the ceiling is here. The guy has broken the door down everywhere he has played. Best NTDP defenseman season ever. Best NCAA season we've seen out of an 18-year-old since Brian Leetch. And now he's heading back over to BU for a second season, wherein he'll probably be paired with shutdown specialist Tom Willander, and he's going to have Macklin Celebrini to be passing the puck up to, who is the projected first overall pick in this upcoming year. Cole Yzerman is also going to be joining the program soon, but as we had talked about in the video a few days ago, there might not be some overlap there. Hutson might be gone from the BU Terriers by the time Yzerman makes his debut with the team, but either way, there still is so much fun to look forward to when it comes to Lane Hutson returning to college. Even if he has the exact same season, even if he doesn't improve his point production, this is still an incredible profile for a guy that a lot of Canadiens fans have seen more out of than a traditional second-round pick. He also played for Team USA at the World Championships, and he looked really solid over there. 6 points, 9 games played. He played for Team USA at the World Juniors, 7 games played and only 4 points, so a little bit of a disappointment there, but that's okay. And if you scroll down to the 2022-2023 awards section for Lane Hutson in the Elite Prospects page here, the guy made the NCAA second team. He was on the NCAA East first All-American team. He was on the Hockey East All-Rookie team. He was on the championship team. He was on the Hockey East first All-Star team, regular season champion. He was the Rookie of the Year, the scoring champion for Hockey East. He won the 3 Stars Award in Hockey East. He was also the tournament MVP. He was the New England Best Defenseman, the D1 All-Stars MVP Rookie of the Year. He won the Walter Brown Award. He was a Hobey Baker finalist, and he got a bronze medal at the World Juniors. There was so much that Hutson accomplished this previous season that this may be the best 1 year later video we have ever made. Like, not in terms of the quality of the video itself, I'm sure I've had better commentaries out there, but in terms of the profile we are analyzing, talking about where a guy was 1 year ago, where he was drafted, and where he has gone since then, this might be the absolute peak of the crop. This might be the highest of the highs that we have looked at in the past few years, and it all belongs to Lane Hutson. So Canadiens fans, let me hear it in the comment section below. How do you feel about this guy? How do you feel about the prospect you have in your system that is Lane Hutson? And how do you feel about his progression from last year to this year? How many points do you think he gets in this upcoming season with the BU Terriers? Thoughts in the comment section below. It's been a great run for 1 year later in 2023. I hope you enjoyed this. And Bye.